Welcome to the Blaize interview. My name is Blaize, and this is
Andrew Fahey.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for joining us. So I want to always ask, like I always start, how did you get into comedy?
How did I get into comedy? Let's see. Middle child, fat kid.
Fat kid.
Like a whole bunch of boxes of like attention-starved people getting into it. But growing up, I always loved making people laugh, which is, I guess, a corny thing to say, but it's my truth, and I'm living in it. My dad's a really funny dude, and so he and I would always crack jokes.
Nice.
And even like in school, I found like it was pretty easy to make friends if you just made them laugh and stuff. And then they'd pick you early in basketball because they liked having you on the team because you could like talk good shit and stuff.
So it took you a while. So when was it that you got picked first, like in basketball? Because I know there was a time where you got picked last all the time. Yeah, that had to hurt.
I was a fucking sleeper pick like you wouldn't believe. You would not believe that I drain threes the way I do, man. Like, it's unbelievable. So
if I take you to the court right now, you gonna drain threes for me?
Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Yes,
I got a basketball. I'm gonna have to test you now.
I didn't bring my good... That's not true. I've got my shoes in my trunk, actually.
We about to ball up after this. Okay. So you...
But, it only takes one picking me last to learn that it's a fucking mistake, by the way. By 5th and 6th grade, I was like first or second round pick, like consistently. I'm not exact. And I was plus size back then, too. So just this doughy little kid. Like, new kids would be coming to school, and they'd be like, why are you picking him for so-and-so's there? And they're just like, just wait.
Watch. Boom. Drain it. Okay.
Dude. That's not the question you asked me. I just enjoy making people laugh. And... specifically, I remember when like it clicked that you could do comedy like as a job or a pursuit. It was in 7th grade. My parents switched over our cable package to include Comedy Central.
Oh, nice.
And I remember it was around the time that Chappelle's show was doing the Little John skits. The talk of the town. Everybody at Hardin Middle School in that year, go Huskies. Was like, what? Okay, and like shit like that. But part of having that was they had, I think it was Friday night stand-up they would do. Yeah. And so they would just show all the Comedy Central Presents specials on Friday nights. And dude, I would just stay up and watch all of them, dude. I ate it up fork and knife and spoon. Mm-hmm. I remember, I think Todd Barry was one of the first ones I saw. Andy Kindler. Mitch Hedberg. There was loads of them. Yeah. Like an endless stream of them.
There was only 30 minutes, Comedy Central 30-minute ones, which is good, which is perfect. You know what I mean? Honestly, those 30 minutes ones are actually sometimes better than when comedies do their hour-long special. Like, sometimes I think...
It's draining.
It is draining. It's a lot.
Like, it's a lot to watch. Those little 30-minute little chunks that they had there were like the perfect little morsel. Mm-hmm. Jeff Foxworthy was another one I remember watching early on. But all of this just being like, these people just do this. And, like, I never outright said... I'm doing this, baby, but like the idea was planted. And so growing up, going through high school and stuff, I at one point had the idea that I wanted to be a teacher because I am pretty good at that.
I can see that.
And I was doing my thing. And this isn't my story, it's my buddy's story, but he shared it with me and the idea clicked with me, so I'll say it as if it's me. He also wants to be a teacher or wanted to be a teacher. And he went up to one of the community college professors, if you can call it a professor, community college instructors.
The teachers.
They're doing their best, aren't we all in this life? And he goes, hey, I really want to be a teacher, but I don't know where to start. What advice do you have? And they're like, you didn't hear this from me, buddy. But if you want to be a teacher, first do the thing you actually want to do. And then when that doesn't work out, teach it. Which is weird advice.
That's good advice.
It is good advice for, we need teachers very badly. I should be a teacher. It's very selfish that I'm not a teacher. But he shared that with me and was just like, yeah, so I'm going to do this. And I heard it and I was like, I'm a comedian. I should do that. And then if, God forbid, that doesn't work out, then I'll teach creative writing or whatever the fuck.
Probably Growlings.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be a teacher at Growlings.
Oh, dude, just yes-anding. Yeah, I'm just like, consider this. No, but.
Oh.
Groundsbreaking and groundlings.
Okay, so, I mean, that's true. Like, those who can't teach.
Yeah, that's the phrase. Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of...
That's kind of what he means, though. That's what I got from that story. Is those who can't teach.
I think that's the essence of it. I think he, or she, I forget who, but, like, their idea wasn't like, if you fail, then that's your fallback plan. It's more, live your life, do the things that you actually want to do, and when the time comes to not be doing that anymore, teaching is there.
I mean, teaching's always going to be there. I mean, you could be 80 and a teacher. I mean,
is it? Sorry, that was a commentary on the state of the world. Is that schools might just throw us all into the emerald mines.
I mean, now the cobalt mines.
The cobalt's my buddy. How could I forget about cobalt?
Yeah, exactly. It's the cobalt. Cobalt's more better than the emeralds. I mean, we gotta charge these lithium batteries somehow.
That's so funny.
Coming at you, Elon.
It's more honest. Coming for your boy.
That and fucking Amazon, all that shit. I mean, you've seen all that shit. Like, they have, like, it's basically slavery. They have, like, these 19-year-old mothers with their babies on the back, like, going and mining the cobalt. And, like, the fumes are so toxic. Like, these people are, like, getting cancer at, like, 25, 26.
It's brutal, dude.
We're lucky.
Oh, exactly. And I try not to
this is what I said. My parents didn't move here to America for me to have single ply. Motherfucker, if I could, I'd have quad ply. Like, I ain't fucking around with this shit. I'm living a life of luxury. Fuck this shit.
My mom got so much heat the one time she accidentally got one ply. That's a true story.
Yeah. Oh, wow. What happened? What happened?
Oh, it's just me and my two siblings were home, and my mom, she accidentally got one ply, and she didn't tell us. She just stocked the kids' bathroom with the one ply. And it was
not
just
her bathroom?
No, not her bathroom. Dude, my older sister in particular was just like, what the fuck is this one ply? My mom's just like, I'm not going to return it.
It's like, deal with it, bitch.
That's so funny that you use that example. I'm like, dude, that literally happened in my household where someone was just like, you can take this, and I'm going to go grab that triple ply that I know you're hiding in your bathroom.
Exactly, because fuck that shit. Because, like, there's two things you don't go cheap on. You don't go cheap on toilet paper, you don't go cheap on bedding, and you don't go cheap on condoms. You know what I mean?
You use those?
Well, I'm not in a committed relationship like some people, okay? I'm trying to protect myself and others. I mean, COVID was bad enough. I don't need no syphilis now.
True.
So, do you remember where your first set was?
I do.
Where was it? When was it?
I made the choice I wanted to do comedy. I convinced my parents to let me come to school at Cal State Northridge to study screenwriting so that I could get a job in TV. Not necessary, gang. Don't do that. It's expensive. Do communications or marketing or something instead. That's the advice I would give as someone who has a very nice piece of paper at home that says screenwriting and no scripts whatsoever. But I moved down here to go to school, as was the agreement with my parents to get their approval.
And they helped.
Say again?
Did they help? They helped a little bit, like help you move down here?
Yeah. You know, I'm very fortunate and blessed, and I'm grateful for them and to live the life I live, that I don't have to go into the mines with the rest of the cobalt folk.
Well, my mom helped me pay for like my housing for school, but I got my schooling paid for, but my mom helped me with housing, so that was the thing.
Yeah. I had a ton of financial aid and stuff, which was nice.
Got it, man.
So they didn't foot the whole bill,
no.
And I also worked part-time and paid it off as I went.
Yeah.
But I would be lying if I said they didn't lend a hand.
Yeah, my mom had to lend a hand for me. I ain't gonna lie. Shit, it's called love, and that's what all parents like. When you have kids, you want to be wealthy enough to like help them get into college.
Exactly.
I mean, I hate this like stigma. Oh, your parents helped you out? Yeah, they helped me out. You know why? Because they fucking love me and they worked hard. Like fuck that. Yeah.
They want to set me up for success.
You know what? Everyone's like, oh, your parents have nice cars. Yeah. Don't you wish your parents have nice cars? Shut the fuck up. You're just hating. They hate. Let them hate.
They had their nice cars and they let me sit in the back and eat my Cheez-Its. They didn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I had my juice box
on
the heated seats.
Everyone's like, oh, you went to a vacay over there, and I was like, yeah, my parents paid for it. I don't give no fucks. Yeah. I'm in this like people making you feel bad for your parents being successful.
Sure.
It's not my fault my parents are successful. It's your parents' fault for them not being as successful. It's like, but it's like, nah, I don't give a fuck about that because my parents are immigrants. You know what I mean? My parents both immigrated to this country. And they made their way. So anyone's like, oh, you know, they were held down to this. Yeah, okay, yeah, I get that, but you know what? You gotta do something for yourself. And like, I'm trying to do better than my parents, which we all are trying to do. We're not trying to do that. But we're going to go back to this.
Forgive me. Yes, I am leading up to the answer to the question you asked me. So forgive me for...
Screenwriting, no.
So I get this. I moved to Northridge, California State Northridge, go Maddie. And doing my thing. I'm telling my roommates, because I ended up living in the dorms.
Yes.
and telling them, I want to do comedy and stand-up. And they're like, that's not real. And I'm like, I'll show you.
That's good.
They announce at the little dorm community, what do you call a community of dorms?
The dorm community, I guess? The dorms?
I feel like there's a different word, but yes, that.
Student body?
Yes.
We're going to fix it on the show.
In the dormitory area, they have like a multi-purpose, not municipal, they have like a multi-purpose
lounge.
Room. Yeah, but it's like a big, you could have like assemblies and stuff there with like the fold-out chairs and a stage. They have a proper open mic night, but it's open to everything. It's music, spoken word poetry, comedy if one is feeling so bold. I hadn't performed yet. One of my roommates, Adam Freeman, shout out, I'm grateful for him, for really like twisting my arm and being like, well, you're going to be a comedian, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, but he's just like, so you're going to do stand-up tonight? And I'm like, well, I guess. And he's just like, do you have jokes? I was like, I got a couple. And he's just like, go. And so I go up there. The first joke I ever had was about explaining how I discovered in my life the band Judas Priest. I knew they existed, but I won't do the whole joke, but the joke ends up that like I was trying to jack off and Judas Priest was playing, and I was just listening. It was the song Painkiller, and I'm just like really rocking out to Painkiller, and then like the song in the video ends. I'm like, oh, I forgot I was tugging my damn, Judas Priest is fucking, and then I went and bought a bunch of Judas Priest. That's the first like joke, I guess you could call it.
That's a pretty good one though.
Bring back the
bring
back the priest bit. All right. And it went over well. Yeah. I got laughs. Everyone seemed to enjoy it. And I got off stage. I was riding the high. I was like, yo, I got laughs. It's the only joke I told. It's maybe like 1.5 to 2 minutes long. Yeah. Which isn't...
But that's good. That's good.
And then what's funny is I sit down. I'm like riding the high. I'm like, great. And then my Adam, who came with me, was just like, maybe I'll give stand-up a try. And he goes up there, and he tells a less than flattering story, and the people running the open mic run on stage, and they're just like, give it up for Adam, Anyways, gang, this is an open space, a safe space, so let's be careful about what we want to talk about up here. And I was like, okay, so not only did I get laughs and do good, they didn't... what's the word? Kick me off stage.
Yeah, they didn't
they didn't completely banish me from comedy forever. I'm like, okay. And I took that to mean that I'm welcome in this space to do comedy. And so the bug was bit. My buddy David Dorward, shout out David Dorward, started running a proper comedy open mic on the actual CSUN campus. And I caught wind of it. I showed up. I wrote more jokes. I started doing that. Mm-hmm. He was in cahoots with Flappers Comedy Club, where I still perform occasionally. Nice. To have like a college competition. Who's the best college kid? Invited me up. The first year I did it, I did well enough that they kept booking me at the Flappers, which isn't that hard. No offense.
I mean, it's like Chateau.
But the second year I did it, I got second place overall.
Nice, that's good.
I lost to Taylor Tomlinson, which is a true story. She wasn't big and famous back then, but she was extremely hilarious. Mm. I can admit that now. I was burning with jealousy at the time.
We all are.
That I was just like, she just brought all her sorority sisters. They all voted for her. And then obviously not that much longer, she has like proper Netflix specials.
Yeah, but you petty. We all petty.
Yeah, and I'm grateful for her. She's very funny, and she whooped me good. But I got second place, and so
that's good.
It was good momentum, and that's kind of what got me going into comedy. And it in waves. Like I was inconsistent over a couple of years, but like I was always getting up maybe once every month or so. But for the last several years, I've been consistent in doing stand-up, and that's my story of how I got into the game.
With people, I always ask, like, what do you feel is the difference pre, during, and post-COVID with like the comedy scene and like how like the audience? Do you feel like there's been a difference?
The audience specifically?
Specifically the audience, and then also the scene. I'll say the scene.
Scene.
Let's go scene first, and then the audience.
I think the scene is... I don't want to say more grateful.
That's good.
But it is different because there's such an abundance of stage time now, but it's in a different form. And so I think they realize the importance of real rooms and real spaces to perform. Because pre-COVID, there was, you could get on bar shows and bar mics and things of that nature, and then I think Fourth Wall was kind of starting to do its thing back then.
Fourth Wall was getting big.
There were a couple of other slotted around, I think, but I think Fourth Wall was the big one, yeah.
Love Chow.
And that's before slotted's kind of like really blew up.
I feel like it was COVID it was when it blew up.
COVID it absolutely blew up because you didn't really have a lot of other options. Mm-hmm. And also Zoom was the other options, which ain't the same. It's fine for some reasons. It's like if you just need to get the phrasing out and say jokes to someone and get feedback, it's there. But it's awkward. I'm in my kitchen talking about getting pegged or whatever the fuck jokes I'm telling that night. And like my cat's looking at me and my cat's like, that ain't
He's like, that ain't fun.
And I think people or comedians realize that like, no, there is something sacred but like special about like real shows in real spaces that aren't. Slotteds are great too for what they are. You can get a lot of volume in there. You can get a lot of good work, a lot of good feedback, reps. But like real shows and real comedy spaces are different and they're special, and I think people are more aware of that.
What do you mean by like real rooms? Like, can you give me an example of what a real room and what not a real room is?
The people at home, I don't know if they know what I mean when I say slotteds. So there are some venues for open mics where you go online, you sign up ahead of time. There's a certain number of spaces.
Yeah, like 10 for an hour.
Yeah, about 10 per hour. There's a new show every hour. Yes. And you pay $5 for 5 minutes in most cases. It varies. Some spaces let you do 10. Some spaces are 3 minutes for something of that nature. And it's great for going and getting your practice in and selling your jokes in front of other comedians. Everybody has to say, so you have a crowd.
Yeah. Because
sometimes in other types of rooms, people will just do their jokes and bounce, which leaves me with my dick in my hand with a bunch of empty chairs, and I'm just like...
With like one or two people there.
Do you like Judas Priest? But when I say a real room, it's a space with real people who maybe aren't all comedians that like just want to be there to watch comedy, not because they feel obligated to be there as part of the agreement to get stage time themselves, and they're there for a night of entertainment and to support live comedy in the scene. And it's a beautiful thing. It's such a different vibe. It's so rich and like vibrant and lovely. And even when it's like dark comedy and like people talking about like killing their mom and having AIDS or whatever the fuck, it's still like we're all laughing because I'm like, oh shit, hey, that's a good take on, hey, holy hell, I didn't think about that. I never thought to kill my mom with AIDS. Just, you know what I mean.
I guess he's killing his mother with AIDS. If his mother dies of AIDS, you know he's the one who killed her.
She's got high blood pressure. That's probably what's gonna get her.
I
love you, Mom. I'm kidding.
So then, like, what isn't a real room to you? Like,
what is not a real room?
Yeah, is it just like is it just like the bar mics? You know, a mic where the ones at the park. Obviously, it's like you said, a Zoom mic. I mean, each one has a different mic. Like, there's the hike mic.
Sure. Yeah, those outdoor spaces are great. Maybe I was a little too staunch with my wording about like, I don't think there are fake rooms, but there are rooms that feel the priorities are different. Some spaces are better for working out and just getting your reps in and just saying phrases, and not so much about entertaining the people that are there. It's more selfish in that way.
Yeah, like if you're going to Hollywood comedy.
Hollywood comedy, Fourth Wall, no offense, Fourth Wall, or no, I guess a little bit offense, Hollywood comedy. Flashback has been great to me. There's so many of them. You can't even limit yourself to it, but they do run real shows out of there with real people and stuff.
Real crowds.
But again, the priority is different. For one, it's more selfish in that, like, well, I'm here to work out my jokes to write and make them stronger and myself stronger, versus actual shows where the priority is to make people laugh and entertain. And so I guess that is the difference that I'm drawing in my mind between like a quote-unquote real room versus a workout.
Just a show versus a mic, you would say.
I suppose.
Because
a mic can be a show.
Like your show kind of.
So my show that I run every Thursday out of Brew Bothers Craft Beer in North Hollywood.
Selfless plug.
It's called Bare Knuckles, Bear Like the Animal. It's great. I've really been enjoying doing it. I shouldn't say it's great. But I've really enjoyed doing it.
No, tell us how horrible it is.
But they won't turn the fucking music down.
That is the bad part about it. But it's good.
It has its charm. It's not a perfect room, but I'm really grateful for it, and I think we're doing a lot of fun stuff in there. But
it is a beautiful room.
That is an example, to me, of a mic that can also be a show. Mm-hmm. Like, not only do we get real people in there, but, like, even the comedians who come are there, like, recognizing that we're having fun or like trying to. It's like, yeah, we're working out, we're trying to get better, but it's fun. Like, we're doing comedy. Like this is great. Like, I think there's more of like gratitude for it, which I think is healthy. Like, how do I?
Like one of the jokes I remember hearing is like, I love having to compete with Eagle to do my set.
Because the Eagles were playing.
Yeah. Was it you who said that or someone else who said that?
Someone else said the Eagles.
I remember someone saying that. I was like, oh, I love having to compete with the Eagles. I don't remember who said it, but someone said I can't stop thinking.
Every night, it's always something new playing. I remember it was actually sick one time. I was performing, and as I was wrapping up my set, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath by Black Sabbath started playing the and I was like, all right, guys, that's me. Give it up to so-and-so. And like, it was a pretty sick moment. I listened to that album for like 3 weeks straight afterwards. I was just like trying to recapture the high of that very cool outro.
That's nice.
It's fun.
What are some like what is like the easy? What's hard? What is hard about like running a mic? Mic/show.
You know, double-edged sword, because although I love having a space where comedians can come and have fun and work out, you also have to harbor to a bunch of dumb open mic comedians who I love, and
that's a very bold statement.
I'm about as dumb and open micer as they come, so I no judgment whatsoever. I think any self-aware open micer will recognize that they're dumb and bad and hard to work with sometimes. You do have to, like, because the narrative for people at our level is get as much stage time as you can. Get up, go up, get in as many rooms as you can. And so there's this weird pressure to get as much volume as you can. And so something I deal with running a room is comedians like texting me or DMing me and being like, hey, can I go on early? I have to go to this other show afterwards. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. But when like 4 or 5 people do it, it's kind of like, I don't control time, guys. I'm sorry. You can all go on stage at the same time and say your joke, which obviously is silly. But accommodating people's schedules and the urgency with which they are enforcing them is frustrating. Sometimes dealing with the venue itself can be frustrating. We've already talked about the music, but it's just like I've spoken to the people that run the bar before, and they're just like, no, we need the music for the people downstairs. And I'm like,
yeah, but can't you lower it a little bit?
Yeah, like you think there'd be a compromise, and and it's always just like, we'll see what we can do. We'll turn your mic up, and I'm like,
that's not the issue.
It doesn't help.
It just makes it worse.
And so I've kind of just made the effort to make the best of it and just like make it part of the show. Like I do the same joke almost every week, so close your ears. Where I'm like, listen guys, we're going to have to fight the music a little bit. It is what it is. At our level, you know, these are the stories you're going to be telling about, what I used to do with, I remember I had to fucking compete with Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers during my set. And if you're doing good, you've got background music. It's like Rocky, you're fucking killing them. And if you do bad, then the rest of us get to listen to fucking Stairway to Heaven or whatever the fuck is playing. Sometimes I give too many song examples, but But it's the truth. It's just like just being self-aware enough to know that like at our level, you got to work with what you have, and so I do, and it's been fun, and people seem to like it. But that's frustrating is like dealing with the venue and like trying to compromise, which doesn't always mean anything.
Yeah.
What else is bad about running a show?
You make it sound like you just contemplate ending it.
Say it again?
You contemplated ending it. Contemplated ending it.
Ending it. Okay, sorry. I would never. I love running a show. Another thing that sucks though is that night of the week I do it on Thursdays is a very like it's a hot night for comedy, and so I'll get invited onto shows and I have to make the choice of like do I do my show that I run or do I try to do a spot on this show?
Yeah.
And I have a co-host and like we try to like take it's like if one of us has to run it so that the other one can do a spot somewhere.
Yeah.
That's it, but it kind of stinks like seeing other comics like get the stage time, get the volume, and go do other spots, and then I'm kind of stuck here. I'm like, I'd like to do more spots. This is going to be I'm stuck here from 7 until almost 10.
Yeah.
Just because I'm running the show.
And then that's after like 10, there's like nothing really open. I mean, you have to
It's
wait.
pretty limited.
Yeah.
And so you kind of like, that's my comedy for the night was running this room. You know, other people got like 3, 4, sometimes 5 spots in that same amount of time. And so you make the best of what you have. And so I just try to really like.
But those people that you're accommodating are doing the same. Are doing that. Those are the people doing like they're asking you for accommodation. They're asking someone else. Or like, hey man, I'm gonna be at your show like 20 minutes late. Is that okay? Or like I'm gonna be like 40 minutes late. Is that good?
Absolutely.
And then it's like, oh man, I gotta leave early. I got this other place I gotta be. And you know, it's your it's not just you who's accommodating them, but they have like 4 people that are trying to accommodate them. It's kind of selfish.
Yeah. Well, this is a selfish game we play, so I'm not trying to make this personal. Like, I recognize we got to get as much volume as we can if we want to get better and stronger. But, you know, that doesn't make it easier for me as one of the people hosting the shows.
Yeah.
We've used the phrase accommodate, and I think it's accurate. But I love doing it. It's very fun for me. I think I'm a pretty good host. I think I run a positive vibe. Thank you, man. You were one of the feature comics on my birthday show, as a matter of fact, which was really fun. I don't think I ever explained what makes my /show different than others.
The music.
The music, yeah, absolutely. The fucking riffs, baby. It's a hybrid show /mic, and so I book 3, 4, sometimes 5 comedians that I really like, that I think are consistently funny and also can work out, and I can trust them to do well to keep the energy of the room going, and I'll give them like 8 to 10 minutes. But then I also still have a list for open micers to sign up. And if any of you have been to an open mic that's just a pure open mic, you know, if you get a couple of stinkers in a row, it's a death sentence. It harshes the vibe in a crazy way. And so I just make it a point to like sprinkle in a strong featured comedian throughout the night.
Yeah.
And it keeps the night flowing strong. And even if you get 1 dud or 2 duds, it's inevitable. We all have our off nights. This is nothing personal.
Everyone does.
But even if you get 1 or 2, then it's like, okay, well, that is what it is, but it's okay, because coming on the stage right now is someone I really love. Get loud for my friend Blaize Sanchez. And then they do great, and it brings the room back to life, and we get to get... It's beautiful. It keeps the momentum cooking and keeps things healthy and strong.
That's smart, though.
And also the micers can have confidence knowing that they're going up to a hot room. And because sometimes it sucks when you recognize that you're going to die a slow death up there.
No, you forget how long a minute is.
Dude.
Until you have to put your hand on a hot stove. You know what I mean? If you gotta put your hand on a hot stove, a minute is an eternity, my friend. And being out there, your hands on that hot stove every night, just like, ooh.
Dude. Absolutely. Yeah, and so I think it's been working really well. A lot of other shows have not adopted it. I don't want to say I'm some innovator. I know Kiki's mic at Molly Malone's was doing it. I think Sunday Punchline does something similar.
I know the Good Night does it.
Oh, that's right. That's on Sunday. Jake.
Balsey.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Don't ask me.
Jake, you rule. I love Gojira as well.
Yes.
He's another heavy metal guy. But I'm sorry I forgot how to pronounce your last name. But you're very funny, and I really like you, and I'm looking forward to having you on the show.
I'm dyslexic, so don't ask me to pronounce your name because I'll fuck it up.
Balls. Anyway.
Don't ask me. Just don't say ball sucks.
Threaten me with a good time, will you?
Okay, so yeah.
They also have that format, and I think it's really effective.
Kind of keeps, like you're saying, keeps the energy up.
Absolutely. I think it helps to maintain a healthy energy and a steady...
Did you ever go to the Pasadena Comedy Club?
I did go to Pasadena a couple of times, yeah.
Because they closed down, but
Rip.
I always because they were owned by the same people.
Yeah, Jow Yank Summers.
Yeah, so I used to compare them a lot, and I would say it's like when you go to Hollywood, it's like professional. You know what I mean? It's like everyone sits there, the arms and legs are crossed. Everyone's cold. Like you gotta really you gotta pull teeth out there.
You know really what I mean? Do.
Whereas like the Pasadena Club, that one I always felt like was community college. Like everyone's there, like, okay. Great job, man! You're doing so awesome. Oh, that was so great. Oh man, gold star. So I mean, it was so great because that was kind of the atmosphere, and like it was literally a block away from the Pasadena City College, so that kind of like...
Oh, that's so funny.
It was, yeah. So it was just like one of those things was just like a lot of the college kids were there, so it just kind of had that college atmosphere, so it just felt real like community college vibe.
That's cool. That was a fun room. I am sad that it's gone.
Yeah.
There's so much fucking parking, dude. I really am sad about that.
That is true, because right there, you're like right there in the NoHo district almost.
Yeah, dude, parking is hellish. If you guys ever decide to come to Bare Knuckles every Thursday... List opens at 7. Show starts at 7:30. Be mindful of the fact that you're gonna have to circle a little bit. It's unfortunate. I found my secret little pocket by the Sherman-Williams paint store that's right there.
Oh, you just give up the secrets. Now everyone's gonna be there.
They can have it. They can have it. There's a pizza place right there that's pretty bomb. NoHo Pizza. Check it out.
Nice.
But it does suck finding parking. And, like, it's embarrassing to say how much that affects what mics I go to. If I know I'm going to... Do you do third wheel very often?
Once in a while. I haven't done it in a long time.
There's I guess you could call it a venue that does open mics, like, 4 mics a week. Or 4 mics a night, excuse me.
Yeah.
It's always free, and it's very fun. I've started calling it, like... I'm not calling it the gym, but it feels like the gym for stand-up comedy, because... When you go to a gym, you can sign up for a Pilates class or a yoga class, or you can just go lift weights, or you can run.
Because they do have theme mics.
They have the crowd work mic where you can only do crowd work. They have the draw. They have like a bunch of different. You draw a suggestion from a hat, and you have to riff off of that. There's storytelling mics. There's games. They have so many different themes that like works out so many different comedy muscles that are important for us as growing comedians to work out. That it really just feels like the gym for me, and the fact that it's always free is unbelievable. Now that I've sucked off all 3 of the third wheel dicks, the reason I don't go more is because I can never fucking find a place to park out there.
And you're gonna park like 5 blocks away.
Yeah, and then like if you go to a midnight mic, you have to step over the bodies of dead prostitutes and stuff to get there, because it's not that nice of an area.
No.
It's a fine area, but late at night it gets a little sketchy. And
well, it's like right there in the edge of K-Town, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And so I don't go as often as I would. Like I suppose one could go early because they have mics starting at like 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Maybe it's easier to find parking at that. No, really?
Bro, it's K-Town. Ain't no time to find parking.
Yeah, and like I don't live that far. And still an Uber to get there is like $25 or something like that. And I'm just like, bro, unless I could bum a ride from somebody on the way back, that's $50 commuting. Public transit, I guess, is an option. I shouldn't act like I'm better than that. I
mean, the red line stops like right there at the NoHo district.
And that takes you there?
Takes you to K-Town, yeah. He's gonna like look up the bus to create. It'll take you probably... On the bus, I think, on the train and bus, it'll take you about 45 minutes, an hour. You mean each way?
An hour commute?
Bro, because you gotta wait. He's like, scratch that idea. Because remember, you gotta walk there, You gotta wait for the train, wait for the bus. You probably gotta get a change. You know what I mean?
True.
And then it is I don't gonna lie, like public transit is cool, but it takes forever. Like this is in New York.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this place was built for driving. It's not like there's a whole everywhere. K-Town, Tau Comedy, even like Chateau, Flappers. The only reason Flappers is easy to find parking is because you just park at the Ace's Hard Furniture.
Yeah, Ashley Furniture. I do the parking structure right next to the Sears.
I always think they're gonna close it on me on the parking structure, but no.
It's open late. I've had to take a few naps in there. I won't lie to you. Sometimes when those fucking crispy Stellas are pouring, you gotta take a little nap.
I do hate bringers though. That's the thing about like doing shows at like
bringers are those are unhealthy for the scene.
Yeah.
It's nice to get a picture of yourself taken in front of a nice sign that says the name of the comedy club. It's also nice to bring friends to see you perform because like obviously they enjoy supporting you and your ventures, but some of those bringers where there's just like 25 people on the lineup and you're all doing 3 minutes each, it's hellish.
Yeah.
And it's exhausting, especially as an audience member, because it's just like, I just saw this person, they're leaving, and now my hands are raw from clapping every 3 minutes. And it's, if you take it for what it is, you can get some good stuff out of it, like show face at a club or something like that.
Like there's only one place I will never do again. That's Chateau. I don't like Chateau.
Felix, he didn't hear it from me.
Yeah, tell Felix. I don't care. And Felix is the reason why.
Chateau's
it's nice. It's pretty, but because of Felix, I mean, I don't do because everyone talks about Felix and all the shit he does. No, you watch my videos. I've talked about Felix and all the shit he's done before. Everyone who talks about like Bill Cosby and shit is like, oh, why didn't anyone say anyone sued her? I'm one of those people who's like, I publicly tell everyone it's like I don't go there because of him and the shit he does. Like one thing is like, why is it that the wait staff changes every 3 months? He can't keep a consistent wait staff. What does that tell you about
the turnover rate's unbelievable there.
So if like Flappers, they keep pretty much a lot of their people. I mean, there's a good, like you see people work there for a good time. It's not like it's not permanent. You see them for like a year, 2 years sometimes.
Sure.
But like a Chateau, you don't see anyone there longer than 3 months.
No, never.
But so that's why, just as a businessman, the way he treats the crowd.
He is harsh to the, like you'll be sitting in the crowd and you'll hear him like chewing someone out. He's just like, who's taking over there? Who's taking the fucking thing? Do I have to get so-and-so to take the fucking thing over there? It's just like, dude, there's a show going on.
Yeah, be part of the solution, not part of the fucking problem.
Yeah, man. It's just like yelling isn't making it happen.
And the way he treats comics, too, is just so horrible. So that's why I stand up for comics.
It's hypocritical, too, because I don't know if you've ever done the audition mics that he does there or whatever.
I haven't.
But the narrative is always like, this is a safe space for the comics, all right? We're here for comedy, all right? I lose money on this place. But you know what? I just love comedians and comedy, and that's what we're here for is the comics. So that's why, anyway, that's going to be
no, you know how
$45 for a Diet Coke and a fucking slice of pizza.
You know who say who does it right is Joel. Joel, who runs Fourth Wall.
Joe Menente?
Yeah, he does it right. He does it right. The one who runs
this Saturday, March 11th, I'm there.
There you go.
Fourth Wall Comedy Cafe.
Hey, he does it well though. The way he treats comics, the way he treats like even the people who work for him, the comics who work for him, you can't find anyone who says anything bad about him.
He's a sweet dude, and he's a real comedian.
He's a real comedian. He's a real person. You know what I mean?
He knows how hellish bringers are. So when he does show, he's just like anything you bring beyond 3 people is your money. You can he'll pay you for whoever you bring after 3. Like it's technically a bringer because he does ask you to bring 3 people, and he does take that as payment. I guess you could call it. But he'll pay you, man.
Yeah.
And I think that's really healthy because it's incentive to get people out, and he gives you healthy stage time, and his rooms are really. The Comedy Cafe is a really lovely space.
It's beautiful. I love it. It's great energy.
The Fourth Wall in NoHo, as many of us know, is a little bit brew
But that's not a show. That's not a show.
But that's the difference between the spaces that I was describing earlier. That one is...
I love that. I love the NoHo Fourth Wall because it is that. It's just like... You know how you say in the gym? That's the bar. You know what I mean? You go in there, you get fucking drunk, you get him, and you just fucking do the work. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I ain't gonna lie. Like I'll sometimes be in there for 3 hours for 3 straight shows, just like working on just the material. And because it's just a really good spot. You just sit there. You just boom, boom, boom. Everyone's respectful. Everyone's cool.
Reps.
And this is one of those spots where you get in there and you just start grinding. That's why it's like Joe. Every time I see him and it's like, hey man, you're doing a great job. I love you. He's one of the few people, like, I would say, like, fuck Felix, go Joe.
What's ironic is Joe, being a sweet guy and I argue healthy for the scene, also introduced the slot. I don't think he... Would you argue that he introduced the slotted format?
I wouldn't.
Or did he popularize it?
Maybe more popular, but it's been. I think he got popularized because I remember it wasn't just him; it was everywhere. Everywhere was doing slotted mic. I don't know who. I don't remember who did it first. Don't ask me that because I don't really remember that.
Well, they just made a documentary about it. Maybe maybe you guys could just watch the documentary.
What documentary?
It's called "Breaking the Fourth Wall." Teresa Lowe directed it. It just premiered like last weekend or something like that.
Where the fuck at?
Somewhere cool.
I didn't even hear about it.
But I think it's going to be available to watch somewhere. But it's basically about what we're talking about now, about him like popularizing or introducing whatever. I don't know the timeline exactly, but the slotted format of the hourly format, whatever you want to call it.
I appreciate it, and you know, it's honestly it's really good, and I feel like it's healthy for us because I hate doing a mic and then like especially like a Baka mic, like he's a. I'm open about everything. You can listen to all my podcasts. I talk about Baka all the time. Doing Baka shows, I love Baka. I've had Baka on the show. And I said, Baka.
You did, I saw that. Yeah,
I tell Baka, it's like, Baka, doing your shows, like doing comedy roulette. He's like, what you mean, man? What you talking about? What, man? It's like when you do a Baka show, it's like, nope, nope. That ain't me, man. It's called comedy roulette, and that's the thing is like that. And then there's like we're talking about like there's the raffle mic. You know what I mean? I understand if it's a raffle mic. Just say it's a fucking raffle mic, dude.
Yeah.
Don't say it's like.
Be honest.
Yeah, and then like I try not to do raffle mics because for the same reason I feel like it's comedy roulette. Like.
Yeah, you never know what you're gonna.
Like how you have it, the list. That's cool. I can deal with that.
Yeah, the list I think works best. I tried to do lottery in the beginning, and it just didn't feel right. And you gotta just trust where the energy of the room is taking you. And I'm like, list is better, because with the lottery, the raffle, there's this anxiety the whole show. Or like, am I next? Am I gonna get on? Like the room is full. Like and then like you see 2 people leave, and you're like, no. 2 more people leave. You're like, no. And then your name gets drawn like dead last. God forbid, and it's just you and the fucking
3
host.
people like.
And you just go up there, and you're just like. Okay, well, this.
Yeah,
I guess it's my turn.
Or like, you know what I hate the most is like, someone says something great in like the first like 2-3 minutes, and then you're like, you just want to say it, and then they leave, and they leave right before you get like they leave. Your name's called, and you're like, motherfucker. I hate you.
Yeah, and you're like, I don't know if you guys remember an hour and a half ago, so-and-so was talking about traffic. Well, me personally, I had this to say about it. And everyone's like, oh, that was this show, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was pretty good. Or like, that was good. Like,
you're like, man, if they were still here to hear that, I bet you they would probably...
And that's why the hour slotted mics kind of like help keep that. Because honestly, the hour slotted mics kind of make it does feel like a little mini show. Because you're like...
They can be fun, man.
Oh,
if it's a healthy one, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Fourth Wall is always a healthy one. Mm-hmm. Hollywood comedy. It's the coldest room in Hollywood.
Probably.
Ain't
no AC in there. I can tell you that much.
Ain't no AC, but all that car.
They barely have working doorknobs.
The fucking bathroom. That was great.
Was that you who told me about that?
I don't think so. What?
About how the bathroom doorknob wasn't working for it was somebody else.
It was so nice. I
remember who told me about that.
Yeah, but no, the doorknob wasn't working for a while. That was no, but the worst bathroom is definitely Fourth Wall NoHo.
Yeah, you have to.
And I'll say
we love Joe. We're not gonna.
Yeah, I'm just saying, ladies, if you go there to do mics, you're gonna learn how to hover. You're gonna have to hover. I will say that.
It's rough in there. I've only taken a shit in one slotted bathroom, and it's the new Flashback. They have a nice bathroom.
Okay, I haven't been to the Flashback. One of the mics I do like is
a nice bathroom.
The slide mic is right here around the corner. Big Chillin'.
I forgot about Big Chillin'. I love Big Chillin'.
Everyone loves Big Chillin'.
Love Big Chillin'. It's literally just their backyard, but it's so fucking fun. They really make it right, dude. They got a tent cooking. They take beautiful pictures. Jonathan is his name?
Yeah, Jonathan takes pictures.
Sorry, Jonathan, I forgot your name. But they've got these great cameras. They take awesome pictures. The lighting is awesome. I still used it as my headshot, the one picture you took of me, because it's still there's the foliage behind you.
It's a nice. It's
so beautiful, and it's so fun, and the vibes are right, and it's fun. It's Big Chillin' is a good one.
The only thing I hate though is how tiny the stage is. So I'm like, if you
I won't lie, I've stumbled a couple times.
Yeah, I've stumbled a few times on the stage. So I will say that that's I just want to be a little bit wider. It means I can take like 2 or 3 shots, but like you can't take any sets.
Yeah, you guys can't find one more pallet to nail a piece of wood on.
Right? No, actually, just go to the grocery store. Just fucking look for a pallet out there.
They got them.
Mm-hmm.
They got those plastic pallets now. Actually, that might work because you could get a piece of wood, a sheet. Sorry, I'm.
You trying to think?
Yeah, sorry. I allowed myself to go on a tangent there. Cut that.
No.
So what were we saying? Oh, dude, the signing up for like 3 slotted. One of the most productive nights of mics I ever had was at 4th Ward in North Hollywood. Early in the day, a lot of these mics have like improv workshop, like basically just exercises for breaking through writer's block, mining for new material.
Yeah.
And so you go up, they grab topics out of a hat.
Yeah, I love that part.
And you riff on them. One of the most productive sessions I had was the first hour I do the improv mic. They pull the name. I just happened to fill the whole 5 minutes with the one suggestion. I'm just like, oh fuck, I forgot about that. And then the next 2 hours were me just like shaping what I was riffing on that first hour because I was just like, oh, that's gold. And then by the end of the day, I had a new like almost 5-minute chunk about something that I'm still working with right now. And so
that's good.
It's cool. The slotteds are like that. You hit the theme room or the writer's workshop or whatever else they're doing, and then you run with it, and then you get writing and you get crafting and cooking, and
like there's
it's very cool.
Another one I haven't been to, but I heard good things. That's on Tuesdays. It's a Hill to Die On. It's like in Tarzana, I think it is. It's at the Corbin Bowl.
Oh, is that Ryan Talmo that does that?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, him and Stephanie. I forget her last name.
Ryan's great.
Yeah, they're pretty good people. They're good people, but it's just like they have their whole thing is like a hill to die on. So you just whatever you say, like what is your hot topic, controversial point, and
that's
then
so funny.
Just like try and defend it as best as you can, or we're gonna come at you.
How much time do they give you?
I think it's 5 minutes.
I like it.
But once again, I haven't been there yet. It's one of those mics like I've been trying to go to, but something always comes up when I've been trying to go to this mic. Like I've been trying to go to your mics more often, but like Thursday's one of those days. Is like
it's tough.
It's tough. Thursday's one of those days you got somewhere to be, or someone's like, "Oh, let's do a show here," and it's like,
yeah. I didn't want to do Thursdays. It wasn't really my choice.
What day would you prefer?
I feel like there's not always a lot going on Mondays. That would have been nice. I think it'd be good to have a Monday space. I think now there's Boom Mic, obviously Potluck at the store. There's 1 or 2 other things on Mondays, I think, but that would have been a nice night to have mics. Or no, that would have been fine because there's plenty of Tuesday options as well. Thursdays are hard though, just because there's so much shit going on Thursdays. I only really ended up with it because my friend Sam Bilski used to run a show out of Brew Bothers on Thursdays. And he has another show, Fat Sets, which is fantastic. Follow Sam Bilski and go see Fat Sets. He's great. He always gets these fucking insane lineups. He's so awesome. They are so awesome. But because he was putting more of his energy into that, he decided to retire the Thursday room. And I was just like, do you have anyone else on Thursdays yet? Can I do Thursdays? Hold on a second. Has anyone taken over that? He's just like, you can ask him. And I did, and they let me do it. So I'm just like, all right, Thursdays aren't ideal, but I really love this room. So that's why I do it on Thursdays. I don't want to necessarily do it on Thursdays. I think, there's a lot of options on Thursdays, but...
Well, I mean, that's why you kind of have the whole, show/mic aspect of it.
That's right.
So, I mean, you work with what you got. I mean, it's a good spot, good location.
True.
I mean, like I said, you're literally right down the street from Ha Ha and Chateau. So, I mean, it's a really good...
Yeah, I get a lot of people. There's, I've had a couple comics dub it a Valley Run or something like that.
A Valley Run?
So it starts at Ha Ha, and then they go to Good Night, and then they hit Brews, where I do my show, and then they hit Flappers, and then they hit either Corbin Bowl or Third Wheel or something of that nature. And so if you start at 7 and you go until like midnight or 1, that's 5 spots you can hit if you
I've seen people do that. It's hard, but for me, like my maximum is 3.
That I think is where the productivity ends, because at that point it's exhausting.
Yeah, for me, like my personal, other people are different. I'm not talking about other people because like at that point you're just going up there just to go up there and it's just like you're just going through the fucking motions. Like, because you see it, especially if you do those like I've been to midnight mics before. And you're exhausted. Some people, that's the only mic they're doing, so they're doing it to be there because they just got off work. Some people, they're exhausted because that's like their 5th or 4th mic. Some people are just exhausted because, motherfucker, it's midnight.
Yeah, dude, I did, coincidentally, I was at Third Wheel last night. I did Midnight Madness. And the room was dead to the point where it's just like, whatever. And then my buddy Sean went on before me, and he mentioned that he ate French toast at Denny's, and I didn't believe him. And so my whole 3 minutes, I didn't even do material. I was tired. Everyone saw. I was just like, they don't fucking have French toast at Denny's. You're crazy. And like everyone was just arguing. And then finally someone looked it up and they're like, they got French toast at Denny's. I'm like, oh no shit. And then boop the light, and I'm like, oh shit. I really just talked about French toast for 3 minutes. Fuck. All right, Lee, I'm Andrew. Have a great night.
Yeah, but that's what I hate. That's what I hate when people go up there and they're just like.
Was it productive? I couldn't. It was fun, but was it productive? You know, like
I would say this. What I hate is when people sit. Like I feel people treat the seating arrangement like it's the fucking bus. Like all the cool kids got to sit in the back. I always sit in the front.
Yeah.
And that like when you sit in the front, it's so funny to see people get flustered. It's like, oh, you're so close to me. I was like, okay.
Well, you know, you better get used to it. If you're going to be doing shows, people are going to...
You're going to be right here. I'm going to be looking at you.
Did you ever... Do you have a musical background? Do you play music or anything like that?
Not really. I did trumpet in tuba in middle school and high school, but that's pretty much it.
I've noticed, because I have some friends who started like playing in bands and performing music. They are the ones that will sit right next to the stage and stay for the whole show and like give you real feedback because... Yeah. Like, with music, that's how you support one another. Like, with comedy, there's, like, this where it's like, oh, I gotta sit in the back. I don't want to be up there. Yeah. But my musician friends are just like, no, what the fuck? We're here to fucking to perform. And I feel like that's really healthy, which was why I'm grateful for that, and I try to implement it. Sometimes it is weird being the only person sitting in the front.
No, it's a power move, bro. It's a power move. And you know why? Because everyone's like, oh, I don't want to be in the set. They're like, nah, they're not even going to look at you. They'd rather sit someone in the back than in the front. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you're sitting in the front, they're like, oh, okay, cool. If you really want to be, like, you got to be, like, in the middle. That's where most comics are looking. It's the middle. They're trying to get, because they want people in the back to see them, people in the front to turn around. Sure. You know what I mean? So it's just, that's why I like, it's a power move, too. Like, People hate because when people are up there saying this shit, I'll like mutter something sometimes, and I'll say, "Oh, that's good, that's bad." I'll be like, "Ugh." It's not heckling. It's just like I'll be like, "Okay."
It's feedback.
Yeah, it's feedback.
You need it. That's why they're here, right?
People's like, you know what? One thing is, you want to stoke a reaction. You want to stoke an emotion. Like one of my jokes is about shitting. But it's about it's a fun take on shitting. It's an illustration, but you know, I get groans and go oh, and I was like, oh, groans are still an emotion. Like I enjoy it. Like I want to hear people groan. I want the groan. Like I want the oh. So people are like oh, you know what I mean? Or like or people, all right. You know, because you know, like people, oh, what? That's too soon. I'm like, no, I'm saying oof because that's the reaction that it deserves.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean?
All right.
Because if they're not reacting, then you know, they're just a dead fish.
Yeah. A non-reaction is like the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Or I guess volatility. But that's a whole different bag of worms, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, if someone goes, ooh, or someone says, that's stupid. You know what I mean? I was like, hey, it's stupid, but don't mean it ain't right.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So you got to take those things. You want people to, I feel like people don't want that. Like, they only want people to go, ha, 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 ha. Like it's a fucking sitcom. You know what I mean? Like, punchline. Ha, 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 ha. No, that's not, like, when you're having a conversation with your boys, like, we're doing, you go, you slap each other, you like, go, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you go, or some people like how our period synced last night. I forgot to say that.
Dude, that was funny. I saw it happening in real time.
So yeah, I was texting him last night to confirm, and we texted each other. Hey, coming tomorrow? I was like, hey, we're still good for tomorrow. And I was like, hey, Jinx, Our periods just sync. So he's my period brother.
Moon Brothers.
Moon
Absolutely.
Brothers.
That's funny. Yeah, dude, I saw it happening because I was sitting next to my lady. I was like, oh, I think I'm doing that podcast tomorrow. Let me text them real quick. And then, like, I had typed the message. As I'm typing it, I see the 3 dots, the little bubble that you're typing. I'm like, oh my god, it's happening.
I sent it, and then I said, think. I was like, what?
Yeah. I was hyped for it. I won't lie to you, man. I said, I let my chick was right there. I was just like, check it out, it's gonna happen. Hey, are we on for tomorrow? Hey, are we on for tomorrow? I'm like, oh my god. Did we just become best friends?
Did you tell your girlfriend about our period syncing?
I did, yeah. I showed it to her. So I was just like...
She was like, oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. She was just like, that really do be happening. So I was like, I know. I live with you, don't I?
I live with the heat on? Oh, shit. Nah. But, so, like, what is, like, your next goal? What is your, like, goal with comedy? Like, what I always say is, people have their dreams, and a lot of people, I say people aren't successful until they're like 30s, until they're 40s. Mm-hmm. And a lot of kids these days, they want to be influencers, they want to be famous yesterday. They want to be 25 with 25 million in the bank, with 25 million followers. But that's not really what life is. Like Oprah, even presidents, they didn't become, wealthy, independent wealthy. I mean, look at Bernie Sanders. He's got 3 houses and a book deal.
True.
So, like, what is it for you? What would be success in comedy?
If I could make a healthy, comfortable living by performing, that would be a dream come true. I don't necessarily need, like, fame. Like, in performing, people should know who you are just so you can get people to come out to shows. I'd like to be able to just have that be... Like just do it to... How do I say... Like, the ideal dream scenario is, I live in Las Vegas, where a lot of my family lives. Just have a house out there, and every other weekend, I go out to clubs or theaters or whatever, what have you, and I perform, and I come home to my family. I would hope I have my own pocket, that I don't live with my parents. They're there too. I love my parents, and I'd like to keep them in my life. It'll be maybe not Las Vegas, maybe a town over, I don't know, maybe not Henderson.
Definitely not Henderson.
Something. Enough that they could cat sit for me sometimes. And just operate out of there, like, because as much as I love living in the city, it is stressful and it is expensive. And if I could just, like, live a real life while just having my job be that I perform for a couple hours every night. And then during the day, if I'm feeling bold enough, maybe have a podcast or something of that nature. Just something just to keep me alive. That's probably not the best mentality to have about podcasting. It's just like, I guess I can have a podcast. I don't know. It's just like, no, people who do that for a living, like, that's where they're pride. Yeah. I'm literally on your podcast currently talking shit about people who...
No, that's not good. I talk shit about everyone. I talk shit about especially Felix. Fuck you, Felix.
Yeah, where's his podcast, bitch?
No, it's bad for the culture.
Dude, just to make just to do comedy without having to stress about money and, like...
Would you want to, like, write a script or be, like, like, a writer for, like, a TV show, like with Tina Fey? I'm just throwing names out there.
If I was gonna do that, I would want to do it because I want to do it. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily as a job where it's just, like, I really need to sell this script if I'm gonna... It's more just, like... Maybe I have a cool idea or someone else comes to me with a cool idea and we just do it, but, like, not the stress of we need to sell this or I'm fucked. More just for the passion. Because I do like writing and doing things of that nature, absolutely. But I think I like stand-up more and writing for myself more. That I would want that to be the priority.
So you wouldn't want to write for, like, a late night show?
If I were going to do something like that, it would be as a stepping stone. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's why, because there are comics who do stuff like that. They sell their jokes for, like, Conan or Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's a great job.
It is a great job, and if that's part of the path, then I wouldn't turn it down. Mm-hmm. The dream scenario is what I described. I definitely wouldn't turn down driving to the NBC lot or wherever, driving to Jimmy Kimmel. writing the fucking monologue thing and then submitting that, and then it's just like, all right, so and so needs a desk bit, do that, blah blah blah.
It would be stressful though.
It's a day job. It's a job.
Yeah, I mean, you have to every day be fucking funny.
And then you're owned by the Disney Corporation, and so...
What isn't?
Exactly.
I'm owned by Disney as well.
Amongst us, House of Mouse. Shout out to him.
Well, actually, speaking about House of Mouse, they're actually replacing Mickey.
What are they replacing Mickey with?
I forget the name, but he's like some sort of like green and purple dragon. I forget the its name, but they're replacing... Nah, not Pete. It's some like new property, because the reason why, because it's IP property, the copyright.
Oh, that's right. Mickey's becoming public or something like that, right? And they're not going to let him renew it. They're not going to let them keep pushing back the law anymore.
Yeah, so they can't renew it. So instead of that, they're going to replace Mickey.
I feel like there's a bit coming.
There's not a bit. That's the truth.
It's a green and purple drag.
Something like that. No, it's not Barney. It's like...
Do you have a picture if you're being real? I feel like you're not being honest. I feel like this is a bit.
I'm not. I swear. I wish I was a bit.
There is a green and purple dragon that exists in the Disney lineage. I think it might be Pete. I know Big Pete is like Goofy's nemesis.
Yes.
Goof?
Marley. The new
Marley
Mickey's
the
name
dragon.
is Marley. So, hold on.
Me and Marley. What's the sad movie with Owen Wilson where the puppy dies? Is it Marley? Marley and Me. That's it, Marley and Me.
Let me see.
Spoiler alert. The dog dies.
Mickey being replaced. Who's replacing
Mickey Mouse replaced? That's bonkers.
Mouse.
So you can just say happy birthday, because happy birthday is public domain. That's the phrase, public domain?
Public domain, yeah.
Yeah, wow, that's bonkers.
Wait, Bringing It is out as official. Yeah. So it's this little dragon thing. So here.
Oh, that dragon sucks.
Yeah,
that looks
Mickey
like what was the TV show where there were dragons and little kids?
Reading Rainbow. Not Reading Rainbow.
It's in that vein. It was an educational kids show.
It was
with
Dragon Tales. Not
Dragon Tales. I think it was Dragon Tales. I think it's Dragon Tales.
Was it Dragon Tales? Might have been Dragon Tales. Dragon Tales. It was Dragon Tales. Yes. Here we go.
That's a fucking Dragon Tales looking ass motherfucker, dude. That's the dragon, Marley?
Yeah.
What's that middle guy there? That looks like something out of
I have no idea.
No,
this is from Figment, Sony, and Tinkerbell.
Labyrinth. It looks like something out of
Pan's Labyrinth.
The one with David Bowie is just Labyrinth, isn't it?
Something like I forget. Don't ask me these questions. I'm not here to see. It's purple.
There he is.
There it is. You know what he reminds me of? Pyro.
Spyro.
He looks like Spyro.
He does look like Spyro.
Purple with gold horns.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, so that's Mickey's being public domain, so because of that, they're gonna replace him.
They're just gonna replace him with a fucking Spyro the Dragon.
Well, technically, I will say this: Universal finally has their Mickey. Their Mickey is the Minions.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, before that, they didn't really have a mascot. Like, who was their mascot beforehand?
Universal.
I mean,
I think the Minions are kind of
because like
what did the park used to have? The Simpsons.
It was the Jurassic Park. Like Jurassic Park was way better. Have you been on the new Jurassic World ride?
It's the same, isn't it?
It's worse.
How so?
Okay, so they were trying to keep it open while they're running it. Beforehand, when you go in and you see the holographic shit, and it's a straight line. And it's all just a holograph. There's no animatronics. Just boom. And the T-Rex, it's a big head and a little body. And it just looks weird with it just looks fucking weird, like a fucking bobblehead. And beforehand, what it was all animatronics, and it wasn't streamlined. Like now it goes zoom, doom. Beforehand it was like do.
Yeah.
Like it was a journey. Like you going side to side. The animatronics. And like beforehand, like it filled you with wonder and hope, and then it went to distraught. Whereas this one, it goes to distraught right away.
Oh, that's not cool.
Yeah, and that's the old T-Rex was a big head.
Yeah.
So it was just a head and didn't have a little tiny body, which is stupid to me.
That's baloney.
Yeah, so that's the thing I have gripes about it. Those are the few of many gripes I have about it. Because the old one, I took one of my girlfriends at the time there before they closed down officially, and I was telling them it's ain't the same, and it's the same because they're closing it half down, so that way they can still make money off it. But that one was the best ride until that one shut down. But now it's the best ride there, without a doubt, is the Mummy ride.
The Mummy, yeah.
The Mummy ride has always been the best ride there.
Yeah, that one's awesome.
Always been the best ride because as you go, woo!
Yeah.
That's the best ride. That one, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, all the other rides kind of suck.
A lot of them are just like you sit in a car while the movie plays, and then the car just kind of shuffles you around, right? Like with The Simpsons, I think that's kind of what the Transformers is as well.
Yeah, I don't like The Simpsons because it just gives me sensory overload. Yeah, because I don't like 3D glasses. Like 3D glasses make me puke.
Yeah, they're cool once to get an idea of what it's about, but then after you do that, it's kind of like, yeah, it's fine.
Remember when everyone bought like 3D TVs and like, oh, 3D TVs, yes, 3D TVs? I was like, nah, bro.
They keep trying to make fetch happen, dude. They keep trying to push those fucking 3D TVs. They're silly. I remember I worked, one of my old day jobs I used to do is I worked with the phones at Hulu, like customer support and tech support. Dude, people would call all the time because their 3D TVs were fucking up and they were trying to get like, hey, it won't load on my TV. I'm like, yeah, it's because you bought a fucking piece of shit. It's because your TV sucks, idiot. That was always such an awkward conversation to have when they're just like, why isn't it working? And I'm like, because your fucking shit's obsolete, dude. I don't know what to tell you. It wasn't my idea. I wish things lasted forever, but you can thank Thomas Edison or whoever. Oh, that was a bad reference. You can thank capitalism for that, big dog shit.
Yeah, I was like, Thomas Edison, what did Thomas Edison do?
Because there used to be like an educational like commercial or something where they were like, Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. One of the versions that he invented literally lasted forever. It would never burn out. But then he invented one that does burn out so that he could sell light bulbs. Because if you have one that is lit forever, you never have to buy a new light bulb until it breaks. But if you have one that burns out regularly, you always have to buy a new light bulb.
Well, that's what they say.
I don't think that was Thomas Edison's idea specifically. That's just what I remember, which is why I said Thomas Edison.
Well, that's what they say about cars. Right? They can build a car that lasts for 80 years, 100 years, but they only make it run for 10, 15 years, so that way you got to buy another one.
Buy a new car. And like every time someone figures out how to make a car run with water, they die. I think you could look it up. There's like 3 or 4 instances of that happening, of like someone doing it and then being killed mysteriously.
But that's the premise of like a whole bunch of like spy shows and movies. Is like, oh, we can't let this new like self-sufficient fuel source come out to the world because the oil company is going to go under.
Yeah.
But I think of that and I was like, yeah, but you know what else went under years ago? The whale blubber industry.
Yeah, you gotta recognize when your time has come, right?
Yeah, because like remember we used to kill whales for their blubbers for what? Oh, that's right, candles.
Yeah,
because what was? Oh, that's right, blubber. So like everyone's like, oh, oil's so great. It's like, well, what did oil replace? It replaced whales. So it's just like, what's going to be the new replacement? I mean, that's just what it comes down to. I'm worried about these electric cars because remember, like, excuse me, years ago, like everyone's like their cell phone was blowing up because it was overcharged. Mm-hmm. What happens when you have a big old car and it's overcharged and it just blows up and there's another fucking car right there, another car, boom, 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 boom.
It's scary, dude. That's why I not that I could afford one even if I wanted one, but like the idea of buying like the first generation of electric car or new stuff, where it's just like, I don't know if they worked all the kinks out of this thing yet, because there's going to be obstacles that they didn't consider or know to think of, and it's just like, well, how do you think of it? Oh, because it happens. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to be the one in the car that like explodes or like the gas pedal gets, the electric pedal, the go pedal gets like lodged or like malfunctions. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'll hold off a decade or two. God forbid I can afford to buy an electric car in a decade from now.
Well, you're going to have to in 2033.
That's right. Yeah, they passed those. Those are going to be the only cars available.
Yeah, here in California.
Yeah.
But you know what's interesting is Montana, they banned electric vehicle sales in their state.
Bro, there's always some fucking bullshit with one of these states, dude.
No, all it is like, it really is just politicians just literally saying, fuck you. I mean, like, it's so stupid. Like, in Montana, they say the reason why they're doing it is to protect their oil industry. So that's what the governor of Montana said. And I'm like, okay, you're just doing this to virtue signals. Like, oh, you know what? Well, fuck you, Governor Newsom. Which also,
Truly.
Fuck you, Governor Newsom.
Yeah, I guess stinks.
I don't want an electric car. I like gas. You know what I mean? It's
Why?
Because it's easier. It's lasts longer. Because not only that, but like you know how they're always bitching about like the emissions and all the fucking like we were talking about earlier. Like how do we get these batteries? We mine cobalt. Cobalt is a very very like toxic chemical.
Mm-hmm.
These batteries that they make, they can't easily recycle them. So
yeah,
what do we do
I've
with them? We just throw them in the fucking landmine. So all these people are like, oh, I got a Prius. Yeah, your Prius runs on electricity for 10 years, and then you got to replace the battery with, and that battery, what do they do with it? They just throw it in a fucking ditch.
Yeah, and ends up just at the bottom of the ocean or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's why I always like people's like. Everyone's like, you heard about the whole like Hogwarts shit and like, oh, don't support Hogwarts Legacy because J.K. Rowling's a trans. And I'm just like, yeah, but you also have an iPhone, so like you support like child labor.
Yeah, you pick the easiest battles.
Yeah,
it's like you can be anti J.K. Rowling from the comfort of your own home and like tweeting about how bad it is, but it's just like the guy that owns Twitter currently is also anti-trans, right?
Yeah.
But you're using his website to talk about how bad this other person
is.
It's very lazy. It's like also, I'm quoting a TikTok, so forgive me. I get all my news from TikToks, but. J.K. Rowling also makes money off of the Hogwarts area in Universal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you and your picket signs at Universal saying, don't go to the Hogwarts ride at Universal?
Yeah.
It's like she's cutting checks from them too, you know?
Yeah. Revenue,
like,
I mean...
You can't just pick this battle and not pick all the battles.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's what I say.
It's hypocritical to...
At what point do you stop picking... Because if you pick one battle, like how I'm saying, like I pick my battle against Chateau. Because...
Sure.
And I'm very open about it. And like, if anyone comes out about any other news about any other places, like, from who it comes from, I'll take it. I'll take it to respect. You know what I mean? Like, if it comes from someone I trust, I'll respect to someone I don't know, don't trust. I'll be like, okay, well, let me try and find out more and see like how reliable is this information? Because like I said, like people are talking about Bill Cosby. People talk about like what's his name, Harvey Weinstein. Weinstein, whatever his name is, like, it's like, oh, why didn't anyone say something sooner? Why didn't anyone do something sooner? Why don't we do it ourselves? You know what I mean? That's why I'm like, Me Too, Black Lives Matter. Like, okay, well, be proactive in it. Like, don't just say that you do it. Do something about it.
Hell yeah.
And that's why I'm like, that's why I tell everyone. It's like, oh, I'm doing the Chateau. And it's like, I'm not support. I love you, but I'm never going to Chateau. Like I told her, it's like, unless I like get invited by someone I know. So, like, either, like, they really need that fifth person.
Sure.
I'll go for them, and I'll bite the 2 drink minimum.
Yeah, I'll get my 2 bottles of water and still spend $15 on it for some reason.
Fuck, man. That's what I'm saying. It's just not good for the culture. And that's what I want to do is just, like, put that energy out there. And, like, people is, like, they're too hypocritical. And I said this on one of my other, with Olivia, is, like, people, once they start saying and talking about, like, they'll say things without like thinking about it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, Black Lives Matter. It's like, okay, but why do Black Lives matter? Mm-hmm. I mean, what does that mean to you? It's like, oh, we have to stop. Okay, but it's like, oh, me too. That matters. You know what I mean? Or some people are like, well, they're political beliefs. Like, once they start like breaking down what they're saying, they might not understand what they're saying, or they might not really like fully. They might not believe what they believe after they they really say it. You know what I mean? As they really think about it. Like, what are you doing about it? Oh, just tag about it. Hashtag. But what are you doing about it?
Yeah, what is it like? Spreading awareness. It's just like, I think we're all pretty aware.
Yeah, but what are you doing?
Are you actually doing something to support the cause, actually?
Yeah.
I see.
So that's what I want to say. Is like, I'm a big believer. It's like, if you're going to do something, do something. Say something, do something. And that's something like my podcast. Like, I'm very open about, like, where I stand. I'm like, I love Joe. He's great. He's amazing. The guys at Big Chillin', love him.
Roger.
Roger's the one. Ha-Ha's cool, but it's just like, Ha-Ha's like the quintessential 90s club. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Ha-Ha as well is a lot more honest about what they are.
They are. They're cool. The people who work there, the owners there, like they're real cool people.
I like performing Ha-Ha. Ha-Ha's really cool.
I always think Jerry Seinfeld's gonna perform there every time I see there, it's like, what the hell's with airplanes?
Oh, because of the way the room looks. Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah. But we've been here about hour 15 now. So let me ask you, like, where do you plug? Where do you usually, like, where do you get Instagram?
Oh, sure. So I do have my Instagram at Drew J Fahey. I've started posting. No, I haven't. Never mind. It's a nice little website, my Instagram. Please follow me.
Well, what are you trying to post?
Well, because I'm trying to post more reels.
That's hard,
but so far the only reels I've really posted are like photo slideshows and stuff, and then promoting bare knuckles. But it's fun. A lot of pictures of my cat, lots of stand-up related stuff. If you're into that, you can follow. I haven't recorded in a minute, but I do have a little backlog of the podcast I used to do.
Yes.
Morning Drew.
That's a good one. I like the name.
Thank you, man. I was really proud of it. So if you want to check those out, that's there. I do have a link tree or whatever you call it, but if you just go to my Instagram,
that's everything.
Everything's there for you. Yeah, Drew J Fahey. I am on TikTok. I do have a Twitter, YouTube, and all that. But if you just go to my Instagram, you'll find everything you need there.
This is actually my second iteration of a podcast.
Oh, truthfully?
Yeah. My first one was called BC Radio, and I did it with my roommate Charlie back then too. This was originally that's why it's called Blaize podcast, but it's mainly more now me. Sure. So it's just kind of like, just do it. You know what I mean? Yeah, everyone's like, why do this? Like, my vision for this podcast is eventually in like 10, 15 years when you have your own VH1 special, they're gonna be like, pull these clips from here and like, oh, this shit he used to say. And it's just like this is like you said, like with your show, that's when you always say that, it's like, we know in 10, 15 years when we're all famous and rich, we're gonna be thinking about this. We gotta fight fucking Eagle.
Yeah. Like people. Yeah.
You gotta love the struggle. Yeah, I feel like
people embrace it for what it is. Absolutely.
And I feel like people like we were talking about earlier, like people don't. I feel like some comics don't love comedy.
It feels like that's something they become jaded after a while. Right?
And it's just like, you see, especially like I said, like how Hollywood is just a cold room. It just feels sometimes it just feels like a lot of the stuff just want to get in, out, boom, boom. And it's not for the love of it.
They get lost in the grind, so to speak, where it's like you lose sight of why you're doing it. You're just getting the reps and going through the motions. Yeah. It's like, if you don't want to be here, man, you don't have to be here. Like, someone else could have had that spot. You know what I mean? So you gotta remember the love. This is a fun chapter of our careers,
Life.
Of life. Absolutely. And so just embrace it for what it is. Love it. Grow. Use it. Excuse me. It's fun, man. Absolutely, yeah. That's cool that this is your second iteration of the podcast, because it is fun. I had a couple of COVID projects.
Yeah.
I got really into coffee and espresso. I bought a big expensive espresso machine that I still use. And I had that little podcast, and I told myself I was using it as a way to stay connected with my friends back home, having a nice long form conversation. Essentially, I asked them to pick one or two things that they were really excited about the past week, and we just show and tell with each other. Because I'm into something new every other week. Truthfully, this week, what am I into? I was playing the video game Hotline Miami. Very fun game. And next week I might not be as excited about it, but I want to talk about it this week because I'm excited about it now. And then I'll ask them, and they're just like, dude, you know what I like? I really like the hot dogs at 7-Eleven. And then we'll talk about that, oh, dude, fuck it, what do you put on? And they're just like, dude, this. It's like, fuck yeah, dude. Also, it's in regards to just do the damn thing, I know I have perfectionist tendencies, which at times prevents me from starting a task at all. If I don't, if I start and I'm not good at it, I'll just stop. But the advice that I heard that was helpful was no matter what you start, when it's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
And the only way to make it good is to keep doing it, and then it'll eventually be good.
My motto with that is the first time you do something is the worst time you do something. First time you rode a bike, horrible. First time you drove a car, horrible. First time you had some pussy, ooh.
You'd be nice to my girlfriend.
Was that your first time having pussy? I didn't know that. He really was a late bloomer.
But I know with me, like, those first few podcasts that I recorded were so clunky, and, like, I didn't know the phrasing, and, like, even my friend, I didn't know what question, I didn't know how much editing I was going to have to do, and so if you stick with it and keep doing it, you get a better idea of things, and it becomes smoother, and
faster.
If you build a following, it's still fun to go back on those bad episodes and see how far you've come, and then, like, your listeners get an idea of your character and your lore.
Mm-hmm. There's plenty of Blaize lore.
The Blaize lore runs deep. The iceberg of Blaize lore. So that's online, Morning Drew. It would be cool if you wanted to take a listen. I have an episode that's been halfway edited for like a year now that I keep intending to go back to and upload the lost episode, the lost Morning Drew.
Why not pick it back up?
Time, like I mentioned, it was my COVID project. I kept it up for several months after the lockdown softened. But it, you take 1 week off because of some reason, and then you're, oh, it's okay, I only took 1 week off. And then you upload again, and then a month goes by, and before you know it, it's on hiatus involuntarily.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like the gym. It's like the gym.
That's true. It's never too late to get back into it.
Yeah. So it's like the gym. You just gotta keep doing it. And if you don't do it, you just kind of fall off the wayside. But Drew, definitely thank you for coming out.
Honor and a pleasure. Bare Knuckles every Thursday at Brew Bothers Craft Beer in North Hollywood. I also run a monthly show in Silver Lake called Splendid.
That's right, with Ben.
With Ben at Diet Comedy. He's very funny. He's a good friend.
Tell him I said fuck you, by the way, because he still has to come on my show because he hates that it's a one mic thing.
This one?
Yeah.
He's very particular.
Oh, I know he is. That's why
he's very particular.
He always is. Every time he says fuck you, he's like, what, man? I love you. Well, fuck you, man. Come on my show. I love you, Ben.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, man, if I come, I'll just wear a mask. And I was like, all right.
Let's be honest. But I do need to get out of here. So, Splendid, that's the first Friday of every month. All that information is on my Instagram and my link tree as well. That one is $5, but 100% goes to Cat Rescue, which I love. And my girlfriend does all of my flyer arts. You can follow her on Instagram at ThoughtCobel. Her links are on my Instagram as well. It's been an honor. Thank you so much for having me. This was very fun.
Thank you. Take care, y'all.